This is how to make the best hot fudge sundae. This is my ice cream maker. I bought it in 1995 and use it to make frozen confections and healthier alternatives. This is a traditional rich custard style ice cream using a real vanilla bean. I used to make 1-liter batches and cook the custard in a pot on the stove. Now I make half-liter batches and cook the custard in a bag sous vide style. I scale the ingredients by weight to get the fat content I want and sugar content at the minimum. I can always up it a tablespoon here or there, or if I want to add sweet syrups or sauces, the sugar in the ice cream can be easily adjusted that way. I add 70 grams egg yolks, which is 4 large or 3 extra large, 60 grams organic cane sugar, 200 grams of whole milk, and 200 grams of high-fat cream into a mixing bowl. There is 70 grams sugar, 103 grams of fat, and 20 grams of protein in this bowl, and that's why I only make half-liter batches. I whisk the mixture to break up the eggs and combine the ingredients, not to add volume to the mixture. Fresh vanilla beans are a luxury, so this vanilla ice cream formula uses a nice plump fresh vanilla bean. If I eat high-fat dairy calories, it will be a real treat for me, so I make it better than any store-bought variety. I split the vanilla bean down at center with the tip of a paring knife and scrape the seeds. I add the seeds to the bowl to mix them in a bit and throw the bean into a large Ziploc freezer bag. I drape the freezer bag over a mason jar to make it easier to pour the custard into it. I use these mason jar spill guards a lot. Makes it so I don't spill as much. Makes it an easier cleanup. I used to have to temper the eggs when I used the stovetop method, so cooking the custard in a water bath makes it more difficult to curdle the eggs and saves me a step. I remove all the excess air from the bag to help avoid uneven cooking. I need to cook the custard to create a nice smooth texture and kill any bacteria that was in the raw eggs without the hard scrambled egg taste. An immersion circulator heats the water bath to a constant temperature, so the temperature of the water never gets hot enough to fully coagulate the protein in the eggs. I add the bag to the water bath when the temperature reaches 85 degrees Celsius and set the timer for 1 hour. Ziploc style bags don't split open very often. When I use them to cook custard, I drape the sealed edge over the edge of the water bath, so there is little chance water will get into the bag. After about 20 minutes, I pulled the bag out of the water to redistribute its contents. The custard was still thin, so I put it back into the water bath to continue cooking. After a total cooking time of 1 hour, at a constant 85 degrees Celsius temperature, I transferred the bag to an ice bath to cool the custard completely. I left the custard mixture in the fridge overnight. This allows the vanilla bean to fully develop its flavor into the custard. I turned the chilling cycle on to make the bowl ice cold before I use it. I poured the custard through a sieve to remove the vanilla bean and make the custard silky smooth. When the bowl is icy cold, I press the churn button and add the custard. This is a 1-liter capacity machine, so I only fill it halfway so the custard does not take long to freeze. I want to freeze the custard evenly and quickly to avoid ice crystals forming. After about 3 minutes, the custard has increased in volume just a little bit. After about 7 minutes, I knew it was almost done because the machine started to work a little harder and the custard was noticeably coming away from the bowl. When the custard is a soft serve consistency, it is time to remove it. Running the machine longer will not make the ice cream any harder. When the ice cream comes out of the machine, we want to enjoy it right away or freeze it down to a colder temperature as quickly as we can. When ice cream is taken out of the typical minus 19 degrees Celsius home freezer to warm up to a serving temperature of about minus 10 degrees Celsius, its texture changes. Every time we take the jar out to serve and put the remaining bit back into the freezer, ice crystals will form, so smaller portion-sized jars make more sense to preserve the fresh qualities longer. For high-fat custards like this one, having a machine to incorporate a little air into it will make the frozen treat a little smoother and creamy tasting, but this custard can be frozen into a harder textured ice pop without using a machine. A nice feature of an ice cream machine is to have a freezing bowl that can be removed for easier cleaning. I packed the ice cream into a 500 milliliter mason jar tightly with no space at the top. I don't want any warm air in the jar that may help ice crystals form. One of the perks of making ice cream is you get to clean up the bowl into an ice cream dish and enjoy it like a bowl of soft serve. Hot fudge is not something you make way ahead of time because it is best served when it is cooling down. You can reheat the leftover fudge, but the sauce takes about 2 minutes to make, so I just make what I need in small batches. I added 30 grams of cream and 25 grams of butter to a small saucepan and brought it to a boil. I whisked in 30 grams of sugar and 15 grams of cocoa. I add a little bit of heavy cream to adjust the consistency and then remove it from the heat. The sauce is ready to be put into a jar to serve. To make a hot fudge sundae, I dropped a scoop of vanilla ice cream into a serving dish and drizzled the hot fudge over top. The sauce melts into the ice cream and creates a gooey and chewy, unprocessed frozen treat euphoria.